Welcome to the Breath of God. This is a channel dedicated to studying the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Over the last 50 days, we've reached over 52,000 people with the gospel of Jesus and Bible teaching. I've opened up a secure online link so that people can give. And specifically, I'm looking for 3 partners to give $3,000 each in a one-time gift to seed this ministry so that I can continue to do these broadcasts and expand my online courses. And I'd like to open up discipleship courses where people can come to my dinner table and study the Bible and receive prayer. Right now, I am a one-man operation, broadcasting in my living room with my whiteboard. And now today's teaching. We'll get into the 7-year tribulation period. Now I've posted a handful of videos and I've gotten questions about the 7-year tribulation period. People unsure where the 7-year calculation come from and how it is derived at. So what I did is took a look at those Bible verses and have put these on my whiteboard. So what you find in the Bible is Daniel talks about this twice. And you also see it twice in the book of Revelation. So whenever you're trying to understand the scriptures, the most important principle is let the Bible interpret the Bible. If you have difficulty understanding a text from one book, let another book in the Bible interpret the text for you. I rely on the Bible to interpret for me so I understand the Bible. And the Bible is more like a library than a single book. It is a collection of books. And oftentimes you'll find the answer from one portion of Scripture. The answer will be found in the other. And that's why we have the 66 books of the Bible. So, the 7-year tribulation period. So if you go to the book of Daniel, Daniel is the 5th of the major prophets. And you find this phrase in Daniel, a time, times, and a half of time. And you find this phrase time repeated throughout the book of Daniel. And the word time is in reference to a year. So you find this again and again and again, multiple, no pun intended, times in the book of Daniel. So Daniel's talking about a year. Well, a year can be 360 days or 365 days. So, which is it? Is it a 360-day year or is it a 365-day year? Well, then you go to the book of Revelation and you get the answer in the last book of the Bible, whether it's 365 or 360. And you find twice in the book of Revelation, in Revelation chapter 11, verse 3, and Revelation 12:6, you find the calculation. It's 1,260 days. And this is repeated twice in the book of Revelation. So if you add these two together, you get 7 years. That's one way to look at it if you look strictly from the book of Revelation. Well, just to be safe, because God's testimony, whenever God gives a testimony, he settles a matter, he gives at least 2 testimonies, and they verify or confirm what he has decided and what he is actually revealing. So if you take these 2 examples of 1,260 days each in the book of Revelation, and then you go back to the book of Daniel, where it is mentioned twice, times, and half a time, you find, so you take, it's a 360-day year. So if you take 360 days plus 720 plus 180, that gives you 1,260 days. So Daniel is talking about a 360-day year. In fact, Jesus himself even said the days will be cut short, meaning the time period will be shorter. So we see a shortening of the year in terms of the number of days during this specific 7-year tribulation period. And we know that it's 7 years is because then Daniel also refers in Daniel chapter 9, if you look at Daniel's 70th week, that he goes to speak about a week. So a week has 7 days, and each day in Daniel's week is a year, a 7-year period. And then you find this 3.5 years periods repeated twice in the book of Revelation, which is 7 years. So you have the 3.5 in both Daniel and Revelations, and you have Daniel confirmed 70th week, which is 7 years, and then you have it confirmed again. If you add these 2 3.5-year periods together, you get 7 years. So that is the 7-year tribulation period, which is the most difficult and distressing period of time which will come upon the earth since creation. And there is no other time in the history of the world that will be as distressing and difficult. That's why it's called the tribulation. Now, as believers, we go through tribulation. That's difficulty, hardship, which is common to the believer. But this is the tribulation. This is the period where God pours out his wrath, and there is no other time like it. Jesus actually refers to it as like the days of Noah and the days of Lot. So when God poured out the wrath of God in the days of Noah and the flood judgment, it's going to be like that. And it's also referred to as the day of Jacob's trouble, a very difficult time. There'll be no other time in history like it. And this is where the calculation comes from. I hope you enjoy this instruction. I hope it brings clarity to your mind. And please check these verses out and see if what I am saying is so. And remember, his breath is our calling.